All right, continuing on. Next up, we have industry. Tyler Callaway from New York. Tyler started surfing in 1969 out on Long Island. He told me the city. I can't pronounce it. Tyler, what's the city? Quogue. Quohue. You tell me, okay? His first surfboard was a 610 Design 1 by Bunger, one of the most famous manufacturers out on Long Island. I first met Tyler Callaway. I worked at a surf shop down in Jupiter. I think he was 16 years old. He came into that surf shop, and we've been friends ever since. We've run across each other for years and years, and it's really an honor to watch this gentleman take over the industry. He's done amazing things. He competed a little bit. He wasn't prolific, but he was good. He placed second in the junior division in the 74 Easterns, and he proudly proclaimed that his ascension in a couple years of surfing the ESA affected his life in everything he's done. So ESA and everything, we'll hear this term again, but he really is strong about the effect that competing in the ESA had on his life. Following year, he finished third at the U.S. Championships in Texas. Then he went out to the U.S. Championships in Hawaii. Didn't do a result there, but he decided to stay. He ended up staying for 5 years, got a college degree, got a job working in a surf shop, moved home, and got to work, working his way up the ladder in the surf industry. So he's got a long history. He had a string of jobs with Locomotion Beachtown, Pacific Sunwear Rusty, and Reef, and from 1983 to 97. And then in 97, he was ready to ascend the ladder through FCS. But let me give you one thing that he did in Reef. How many of you remember the Reef Girl promotional campaign? Tyler Callaway, his idea. All right. Was there any fringe benefits? In 1997, he started FCS as the director of U.S. operations and quickly ascended to president and CEO from 98 to 97. He created the category of changeable fins in the surf industry. Did not exist. Everybody used glass-on fins, and within a year, he had changed that. His slogan was, "Change your fins, change your surfing." He won 3 NSSA National Masters Championships in the 80s and 90s, took the Legends title in 2015 at Surfing America U.S. Championships. Ladies and gentlemen, Tyler Callaway.
Thank you, Hunter. Thank you all. Back in Florida, about 20-something years ago, I was surfing down at Stewart Rocks, right down the road here, and it was beautiful, stand-up barrels, best I've seen in Florida in a long time, and I got bit by a black-tipped shark. And I got 30 stitches in my foot. My foot swole up like a pumpkin, because sharks don't brush their teeth. And I continued on. I got stitched up. I continued on my surf shop run. I was working for Reef at the time, and about 4 hours later, I stopped to put gas in my rental car, and I was holding the gas pump, and lightning hit the construction site across the street. And it felt like you were in an X-ray. And it sounded like a bomb went off across the street, and my foot was like a pumpkin. I don't think I touched pavement into the mini mart. I was like, woof, like that, and you gotta bear with me because the accent plays into the whole thing. The woman behind the counter is like, "Are you all right?" I was counting my limbs and I'm going "Yeah, I think so." And she goes, "Look at your hair." And I had hair at the time, and all of it was straight up. And I'm just going "Oh." And she looks at me and she goes, "What happened to your foot?" And at that point, I just kind of walked out mumbling to myself, what the hell are the odds of that? Shark bite in the morning or lightning in the afterlife. It's crazy. It's funny. I told that story to Kelly Slater, and he goes, Tyler, everybody's got an I hate Florida story, but yours wins, hands down. And it's been a long time since that shark bit me. And this industry has changed a lot, and I'm inducted for industry, so I want to talk about that. Like, there's been a lot of changes, and companies that we thought were institutions and brands that we thought would be here forever are gone or restructured, and the landscape looks different now. But the East Coast Hall of Surfing Hall of Fame is still here, and that's important because it is a reflection of what we do and who we are as a culture and everything that is sort of good about being a surfer. And it holds our community together. It's a pillar of the community. And I'm honored to be up here tonight. I'm humbled to be inducted by my peers and my heroes and to be among this class of 2020. And I still claim the East Coast. I've lived on the West Coast for 30 years. I'm proud of where I came from. And in that time on the West Coast, I was lucky enough to get to work for some companies like FCS and Reef and Rusty and take them to the top of the market. And we did a lot of cool things, and I got to, kind of help people get a grip on the relationship between surfboard fins and performance and see the way that affects things and change the way boards are sold in retail. And got to work with so many great athletes like, shapers, designers, retailers, board builders, far too many to mention. I know Matt Biolas is here, and Mike Riola, and Damo, and Matt Keckley, and there's far too many to name here. But it's an amazing thing, and I'm lucky. Today I'm still busy. I have a consulting business. I get to work with some of the most dynamic brands in the industry. I have a friend, Jamie Meiselman, who's here, and he and I started a boot company. We make custom moldable wetsuit boots called Solite, best you'll ever wear. I live on the beach in San Diego with my beautiful partner, Holly, and her 2 kids, Brianna and Trey. I think they're watching on Facebook. I love you guys. And it's been a great ride. This industry was founded by brave entrepreneurs, surfers who wanted to make a living doing what they loved and were determined, and this room is full of them. And it's amazing because the secret sauce is in living your dreams and living your passions. And that doesn't always translate into spreadsheets and quarterly reports, but it does translate into winning the hearts and minds of consumers and making people identify with your brand and your product. So go forth, be inspired, young surfers out there, that there's a place for you in this industry. And the surf industry should always be run by real surfers, just like the ones that are being honored here tonight. So thank you, East Coast Hall of Fame, and thank you all.